Well, I went to Cagney's, the steakhouse on NCL's ships, all of them actually, and I now have the ability to give you my first impressions and my review. All that and more in today's video, you don't want to miss it. Welcome back to our next adventure with me, Jason. Now, just so you understand the formatting of this video, we're going to be watching my first impressions whilst eating at Cagney's ever aboard NCL. Now, once those first impressions are over, we're going to jump back to me in the present, where I'm going to be using my official, or I don't know, unofficial scorecard to benchmark every single restaurant that I go and eat at, whether it's on a ship or anywhere else. That's enough from me. Let's go see how it was at Cagney's. So I'm going to talk into the mic here because it is a bit loud, but and at Cagney's, I am dressed as Martin McFly. I think for my appetizer, I'm going to get the baked onion soup, and the entree, I think I'm going to get the Australian lamb chops. So those are really good, and that was what I wanted anyway. So those are 12 ounces. I don't work in ounces, so I have no idea how much that actually is. And it says it's got pearl barley risotto and a red wine sauce. So sounds good. I have the cocktail menu, which I'll put on the screen as I speak about it. So the cocktail menu is nothing special. Literally everything on here is available everywhere else. In fact, it's identical to the same one as the observation lounge. They have served the bread service. I'll put that in a moment, like a rosemary bread with unsalted butter. They're very clear about that. The second French onion soup of the entire trip. Looks good again, smells good again. There's Gruyere and there's Bruton, so we know that that's the staple. Let's give it a go. Trying not to burn my tongue. This is like someone went to the Dead Sea, took a whole bunch of the water from it, and put it into the soup, and it's really awful. I don't know who can eat this. So I mean, again, I can eat the crouton and the cheese after draining any excess of the soup, but I will not eat the soup because it's vile. Really vile. So the lamb's arrived. Asked for a medium. Get there. I'm gonna try it first without the sauce, and then I'll do it with the sauce afterwards. It's really good. This is the red wine sauce. I tried a little bit of it on a knife. It tasted like it could be a bit salty. It's got like that typical light, winey taste to it, which you want, right? It's not supposed to be like fully moved, but it's like very watery, like super watery. But all in all, the lamb's good. It's really good. And then I'm gonna try the risotto, which I got it as a side as well. So you better go. I don't know what it is. Like some of this food is just, it's like someone diluted the flavor. It's either like heavy dilution of flavor, or they throw in all the salt in the world. So this is like, again, same thing. This is the truffle, I think truffle mashed potato. So you can see that. There. But, and truffle's cheating, right? You put truffle on anything, it smells amazing, tastes amazing. Yeah. I wonder if they're using actual truffle or just like, truffle olive oil or something. Oil truffle. Guys, I'm so sorry. People are going to think I'm awful. I don't know what it is. But they've managed to take a dish that uses truffle and robbed it of its flavor. I've never, that's like actually an impressive achievement. I can't believe it. So desserts arrived. This is the Oh My God caramel butterscotch cheesecake. Looks really good. Heard really good things about it. So let's see. This is great. And to understand really just, I know it doesn't sound like that, but to understand just how good this is. I hate caramel. I don't eat it at all if I can avoid it. I made an exception because I like to try dishes the way they're supposed to be. So, next time, let's say I would have the way to somehow have this without the caramel, I do it. But I wanted to have it as is, and it's very good, like really good. My current hot take is that the restaurant overall is not great. Soup was terrible. Main was okay. Sides were a joke, and this dessert is fantastic. Sorry to interrupt, but just a small request from my side. If you haven't already, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It really helps out the channel a lot and means so much to me. Not only that, if you enjoyed this video, found it useful, or you'd like to see more of it, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, I'd love it if you left a comment below. Tell me, did you find it useful, entertaining? Did you just enjoy it in general? What did you think? Have you eaten there before? I'd love to know, so please leave a comment below. Anyway, back to the rest of the video. All right, and now it's time for the final restaurant review, beginning with the meal scorecard for Cagney's. Looking first towards the starter. Unfortunately, the French onion soup scored a 0 in every single regard: quality, taste, portion, and price, except for presentation, where at least it got a 0.5 of partial achievement, since at least some effort was put into presenting it in a nice looking bowl, giving it a total of 0.5 out of a possible 5. And for the main, it managed to score a 0.5 in quality, taste, presentation, and price. However, it did get a noteworthy 1 under portion, given that between the actual lamb chops themselves, the side that comes with the dish, and the 2 sides on top of that, it was more than enough food, thus giving it a total of 3 out of 5 for the main. For dessert, the quality was a 0.5, taste and portion both given a 1, and presentation and price another 0.5 each, bringing the total score for dessert to 3.5 out of 5. Under specialty drinks, Cagney's managed to score a 0.5 for quality and taste, as well as presentation, as there wasn't really anything too significant to talk about in all 3 respects. However, for price, it did get a nice commendable 1, thus giving it a total of 2.5 out of 4, despite an uninspiring drinks menu. Moving on to the implementation scorecard for Cagney's. When we look at menu design, Cagney scored a perfect score of 1 in each the starter, main, dessert, and specialty drinks categories, thus giving it a total for menu design of 4 out of a possible 4. When we look at the environment, Cagney's got a 0.5 for the exterior, interior, spacing, it got a 0, as well as ambiance, thus giving it a total for environment of 1 out of 4. For service, the service as Cagney's was good, but I would not call it elevated, thus only scoring a 1 out of a possible 2 for the service category. For X Factor, it received 0 out of a possible 1, and that was because there was no X Factor value to be found. Now, if we total up all those different scores for the various considerations, we get a total for Cagney's of 15.5 out of 30, which brings us to the food for thought. So, number 1, let's talk about the overall score of 15.5 out of 30, or 52%. Cagney's is a run-of-the-mill steakhouse, let down by an awful restaurant design and food which needs general touching up. As far as the meal score was concerned, where it achieved a 9.5 out of 19, or 50%, it was the same awful French onion soup served all over the ship, practically inedible. The main was fair in most respects and helped by the accompaniment of 2 tasteless albeit well portioned sides. The dessert is good and only needs slight touching up, and the drinks menu was uninspiring although reliable. Finally, the implementation score of 6 out of 11, or 55%. The exterior is assisted by its location between the Belvedere bar, which one has to in some sense consider as an extension of the New York styled steakhouse. The interior was a confusing, dimly lit eyesore in most parts. I quite didn't understand the sort of color code and general style of the restaurant. On one hand, it seemed like it was going for trying to be an upmarket New York steakhouse, but on the other hand, it almost looked like they got a deal or collaboration between IKEA and McDonald's when it came to the furniture. The service was good and carried out well. Finally, the tables are incredibly tightly packed and totally unpleasant. Prepare to feel part of 10 conversations minus any input of your own, seeing as the conversations are taking place at your immediate surrounding 10 tables, because you are literally sitting on top of each other. Well, that's my review on Cagney's. I hope you found it interesting, or at least entertaining, and hopefully very useful, but who knows? I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.